Hi everybody, I'm doing the class from outside today and I hope you're all keeping well. Very, very strange times, isn't it? So I think I've spoken to all of you over the last week or so on WhatsApp or sent a message to your parents that maybe you've seen. And so we're going to try this out, doing a little class online. And we're going to start with a warm-up. Okay, so beginning with hands to heart center like this. And you can close your eyes, just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. So opening the eyes and still keeping the hands at hands to heart center. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, big stretch up, breathe in, and then breathe out, collapsing down, 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 towards the toes. And then back up. And we'll do that twice more. So hands to heart center, breathing in, and breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out all the way down. And one more time, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out all the way down, and breathing in and relax. The nice thing about doing the class outside this morning is that I get to hear the birds singing. So that's really nice when I'm doing the hands to heart center, just quietening down. So maybe as you're sitting at home, relaxing with the eyes closed, see what you can hear. What are the sounds? Can you hear somebody in the kitchen, maybe making a cup of tea? Can you hear the birds out in the garden? Or maybe there's a television on in the background. What can you hear? Just see if you can notice. Great. All right, we're going to rub our hands together. So rubbing the hands together. And as we do that, Aoife, you know this really well, don't you? The hands get nice and warm. So take the warm hands and then bring them into the arms. So saying, I don't know what time you're going to be watching this, but it's morning time here. Good morning to your arms, or maybe you're going to do it in the afternoon, so it'll be good afternoon arms. Into the muscles, all the way up into the shoulders, saying hello to your shoulders. Hello, shoulders. Getting rid of any tension that might be in the muscles. And then down into the belly, saying hello to your belly. And reaching around to your back, saying hello to your back. And into the legs, to the muscles of the legs, saying hello to your legs. All the way in, down to the ankles as well. And the knees. Great. And then just shake out your shoulders. Great. And then shake out the hands, shake them up high. Great. You can check them out to the sides if you've got enough room. And check them out in front. Lovely, and relax. Then into the shoulders again, making some circles. We're going to do 3 circles back. 1, 2, and 3. So this is really good for the shoulders. We'll go forwards again. 1, 2, 3. You might notice as I'm doing this as well that I'm sitting up nice and straight in the chair. I'm not leaning back. I'm engaging my tummy muscles, sitting up nice and straight. And it's like a little kind of string is at the top of my head, holding me up. But even though I'm straight, I'm not tensed up. So I'm still nice and relaxed. So we'll go back into those shoulders again. Let's go in 1 and 2 and 3 and forward, 2, 3. Great. And into the elbows and 1, 2, 3, and wrists, 2, 3. And let's do a big stretch out with the hands now. Almost like your hands are like stars, so just stretch them out. And a little bit of imaginary piano playing as well. Good. What are you going to play today? And shake out again. And this time you can lean back in the chair a bit, but try not to collapse down again. Stay sitting up as much as you can, engaging your tummy muscles and into the ankles and circling the ankles. That's it. Great. And to make it a little bit more difficult, you can move your arms and your legs at the same time while sitting up and using your tummy muscles. That's it. Great. And relax. So it's really important at the moment to try and keep moving your body. I know it's hard that you're not getting out and about into your different classes, whether it's your Tai Chi or your dance class, drama class, any of those activities that you're usually doing. So you're having to kind of do a lot of stuff at home. But if you can, it's really, really important to stretch your body every day. And you can do a big yawn stretch, like so. It doesn't have to be these incredible stretches, just something nice and simple. You know, like we began the class today, stretching down towards the toes, etc. But also another thing that's important is to get your heart rate up as well. So you might like to do some jogging on the spot, and you can do that for 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then just relax for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again for 10. You can get faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also do some jumping jacks like this. And I put in some boxing into yesterday's class. You could even do a bit of a kick as well. I know, Sandy, you really like doing those kicks. And another thing you can do is put on your favourite music and have a little disco in your kitchen or in your bedroom. And that will help as well to just get the heart going and pushing the blood around the body, which is bringing oxygen to all your muscles and also up here into your brain, which helps to make you feel good. And that's really important at the moment, that we're doing things that make us feel good, because it's not easy being stuck at home all the time. So just breathing in again, breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. So here's a favourite bit now, I think, for you, Sandy and Aoife. I'm going to do some vocal exercises. Now I am doing them outside, so the neighbours can definitely hear them. So that's a bit funny. So, and I think as well, Sandy, don't you have some copies of the vocal exercises from before? I think you do, actually. You recorded them and we had them on WhatsApp. I can send them along, actually. So what I might do is send those along as well today, the recording that we made of the vocal exercises, okay? But we'll just do one or two here. So we're breathing in and we're breathing down into the belly, nice, good, strong. And then breathing out with an ah. Good. So we're trying to control the sound from the belly, which is the powerhouse for the sound. It's where all the air goes in. It's like you know, the bagpipes down here. And that way we can play with how we can let that sound out. So we'll just breathe in again. And this time I'll do an O, so I might start out slowly. O. So I'm playing with the sound rather than starting out slowly. Actually, it was quietly, I think, and then making the sound stronger. So it's almost like letting the sound out and in and out and in. So have a go at that at home. Try and play with how you're making those sounds. Okay, now we have talked before in class about how important it is that we're using all of the parts of our mouth to help us make sound. So we know that the breath is a huge part of it, but we also need to use our lips and our teeth and our tongue to make different sounds. So we'll just do a little bit of a lip smack, or you can blow some kisses. Air kisses. You can pretend you're a famous Hollywood star. blowing kisses to your fans. You can also do some exercises with your tongue. That's a hard one, rolling the tongue. You can stick out your tongue if you want, just to get that going. And some of the exercises that I'll send you on WhatsApp, the recording, they'll really work all those parts of your mouth. So yeah, when we're making sounds, it's important not to be lazy with the mouth. We really want to try and use it, and that helps to make our words a lot clearer. And that's really important when you're on the stage, that you can be heard. Okay, so do a little bit of vocal exercise as much as you can every day, and it'll really improve your vocal, this is a big word I'm going to use now, capacity, which means that it's really going to give you lots of colour and energy in your words. Okay, great, try that. So normally at this point in class we would be looking at how we might warm up our imagination. I'm looking to see what I have nearby. Yesterday I used a poof that I would put my feet on, and then normally we use the ball, don't we? And I do have the ball to hand. Hang on one sec. So taking the ball, if you have one at home, or anything that's from home, try to think what you could use. There's this, I have this little egg cup out here, and I don't really know why it's here. It'd be quite difficult to use this one, wouldn't it? Well, let's see. Okay, instead of using the ball today, then I'll give this to try, and I'll challenge myself. So this is an egg cup. I think it's an egg cup, or else it's maybe just like a little cup for drinking tea out of, Chinese tea or something. So I'm going to use the power of my imagination, and I'm going to turn this into something. So it could be what is it? It's a very small telescope. Okay, and this is a fun game to do at home with your mum and dad, or whoever's living with you. Maybe it's your brother or sister or some friends, and you can take some objects from home and change them into something and see if they can guess what it is. So that's a little game that you could play to keep you occupied. I wonder what else I could turn this into. I have to think now. Using the power of my imagination, I'm going to turn this into what am I going to turn it into? Oh, it could be a sausage roll. It doesn't taste very nice. Okay, so with the exercise as well, you may have noticed it took me a bit of a moment to figure out what I might change it into, and that's okay. So it's all part of it. So you can take time just to kind of play around with something and see if something comes to mind, you know, as you're playing around with it. I have another idea. As I was doing that, it could be a thimble, you know, when you're sewing. So I might be a giant lady actually who's got very big fingers and needs quite a large thimble, and I'm sewing. What am I sewing? I'm making something. Do you know what it is? Send me your answer on WhatsApp. Okay, so the next part we'll do is we'll go into neutral, our neutral position, which is completely relaxed. It's like a blank page, the blank page of acting. So it's the place that we go into before we act. So it's like you have yourself, this neutral space, and then the character that you're going to play. And as you know, we've all been working on our play, Bob Saves Humanity. And it's quite interesting that we currently find ourselves not so much locked into our house, but we have to stay at home. And what's interesting about that and Bob Saves Humanity is that all our characters are stuck in a room. Do you remember? So we're kind of living that experience at the moment. They're stuck in the room and it's the same thing that happens every day, and people get frustrated. You remember, Rose is always waking up, that's you Sandy, and she wants everyone to exercise. Minnie's supposed to be making the tea, but deep down she's really annoyed at Esme, that's me, who's really bossy and always asking them to do things. And then we have James Bond, isn't that you, Keith? And he's just kind of given up. He's lost all confidence, and he doesn't want to engage anymore. And then we have Elvis, who's just taken to the beer. That's you, Christopher. Taken to the beer and eating packets of crisps, and annoying everybody with his singing because he can't sing as well anymore. And what about Romeo, our teenage Romeo, who's bored, can't handle having to share the space with everybody. They're all wrecking his heads and they don't know anything. And of course he's missing his Juliet. And then we have Spider-Man, that's you, Usman. And he's just flicking his webs. He's also kind of teenage guy as well, and himself and Romeo get on well. And of course we have you, Stephen, Bob, on the other side, who is the person, the hero that could save us. And that's actually really quite interesting now that we find ourselves, as we say, stuck. We're stuck inside. And who's our hero at the moment? So who are the heroes working for us at the moment? They're going to help us to get back into our lives. Maybe that's something you could think about today. You could chat about that with your mum and dad or whoever you happen to live with. So at the moment, I suppose the heroes, and you've probably heard it already, are those people who are working in hospitals and keeping everybody safe. And I think as well that we're all heroes too, because we're changing the way that we live, and we're doing it to protect each other. So we're, instead of going out or going to the coffee shop or going up to do our classes in Axis, we're staying at home and we're trying to do our class in our living room or in our bedroom. And I suppose, yeah, that maybe we are the heroes of our story as well. So that's something we could think about. Maybe you could do a superheroes dance. What does your superhero look like? Yeah, that's a nice exercise that you could do today. So thinking a bit about that, ask yourself, what does my superhero look like? You know, if I'm going to be a superhero. So maybe you could get out your colouring pencils, your crayons or your paints and come up with a costume. As we know, Spider-Man wears red and blue, and he also has a black one, doesn't he, as well, I think. Superman happens to wear red and blue as well, but he has a big yellow S there for Superman. I'm kind of wearing a costume in the sense that it's the Rhythm Room jumper, and it's red and black. And it has the logo on the back, I'll show you that, which is the happy and sad faces. Yeah, so what does your superhero costume look like? Think about that. And yeah, when you've done your picture, take a snapshot of it and send it to me on WhatsApp. Okay, so going back to neutral. We're going to practice the 5 emotions. So we've got joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. Okay? So breathing in and breathing out. You're in neutral. And the first one we're going to do is joy. So joy is full of energy and life. Now I know I've stayed sitting on the chair for this one, I'm being a bit lazy, but I could jump up and jump for joy. And in joy you can feel that energy all the way from her toes all the way up to the tips of her fingers. She's got light and energy, and she's really, really positive. She's probably got some good superhero qualities. So just notice that in the body, and how does that feel in your body. And then we'll go back to neutral. And we're going to do the opposite of joy, which is sadness. to neutral again. So sadness is quite heavy in the body. Just noticing that. See if you go into sadness again, just notice how it changes your body. It's quite heavy. It tends to be very down, so that the eyes are cast down to the ground, and it's quite closed. It's quite a closed position. And when I say the eyes are cast down, people often say when they're sad, I'm feeling down. And there's probably a reason for that. Everything has been kind of pulled down. You feel like you're being pulled down. So we'll go back to neutral again. And then this one we'll do is disgust. So we're in neutral and then disgust. Ugh. So you see, all up in the face. I'm just going to relax back out of that. It's pulled back. Everything is kind of pulled back from whatever is disgusting you, whether it's a terrible smell or it's something that you see that you don't like. You pull back, and there's a word for that. It's called recoil. So a coil is something that's all like a hose. Did you ever notice where the hose might be all coiled up like that, and it's tied in, and then you would pull it out, and actually a good one to do for that instead of the hose might be the dog lead. If anyone has a dog at home, you have those leads that stretch out, and then you can bring them back, snap them back, and that's called a recoil. So disgust is really about recoiling into back from that. Ugh, it's disgusting. And a lot of it's up here in the face, that action pulled back through the nose. So just give that one a go. It's interesting, isn't it, how we've all these different physical, which means your body, how your body reacts to emotions, whether it's joy, which is energy and up, or sadness, which is down, or disgust. And the next one we'll do is fear, which is kind of a similar reaction to the disgust, in the sense that you kind of recoil, or you pull back, you jump back if you're afraid. Now fear is different from being scary. So if I'm being scary, then I'm the one who's like being scary. I'm frightening people. Fear is your response to that, or what happens if someone scares you. Okay, so we're going to go back into neutral again, and then we'll do fear. So you notice literally I'm on the edge of my seat, and you would say sometimes if you're watching a scary movie that you're on the edge of your seat, you know, wondering what's going to happen, or fearful. So it's very tight, it's quite jumpy, it's, you know, and your breath, instead of that nice breathing that we were doing in the beginning of class, is all up here, it's caught up here, and you're in a moment that you're ready to run at any minute because you need to save your life. It's quite intense, the fear. So just breathing after that one, breathing in and breathing out. Good, and breathing in and breathing out. The last one we'll do is anger. And that's something that could be kind of going around a little bit at the moment. And maybe not like full-blown anger, but frustration at being kept inside all the time. Frustration about not being able to go out for your latte that you enjoy, or frustration about not being able to meet up with your friends. So that's something that you might be experiencing at the moment, and it's okay to experience that. So we're going to go into neutral again. Excuse me. Neutral. And anger. So you'll notice arms are crossed. Look at its kind of angry face on. I kicked the chair. Now, if you're practicing this at home, don't go over kicking too many chairs in the kitchen, or your mom and dad might be, you might scare your mom and dad, which you don't want to do. But again, it's okay to practice this, but very important then to come back into your neutral position, which is nice and relaxed. letting go of that character, and you're breathing in and breathing out. I think I hear some rain. Start raining today. It's not as sunny as it has been the last few days. So you would say to yourself, well, why are we doing this? You know, why are we practicing emotions? Because as a human, we all have emotions. We all feel those things. So I think each one of you has felt at some point a moment where you may have been angry, or a moment where you were sad, a moment where you were full of joy when you got some maybe good news about something, or it's maybe a moment where you were scared or disgusted if you tasted something like you didn't like. There's a good scene in that movie Inside Out, and discussed it when Riley, the main character in the movie, she's disgusted because they're putting broccoli on pizza. So probably each of you have a food that you don't like, and there's absolutely no way that you're going to eat it. So we're all feeling those things, and as actors we're playing different parts. So we're playing other characters that are human beings, and they all have those emotions. So when we're practicing these, going into neutral and out and into character, it's to expand, which means to make bigger our acting range, and that we can step in and out of different characters and challenge ourselves. Okay, so your task for today is, as we said earlier, to come up with a superhero character, your superhero character, who you're going to be during this difficult time, because we're all heroes. So what does your superhero look like?